Okay, let's have a quick look at a synapse. A synapse is the connection between a nerve cell and another cell. It can be another nerve cell, but it can also be an effector cell, so it could be a different sort of cell. So in the diagram here, we have the axon coming down here, and this is the axon terminal around here. And over the other side here, we have the dendrites of the next nerve cell. So the message will then continue down along that nerve cell. So what we have is a cell membrane, and in our cell membrane, on this axon terminal, there'll be specific proteins that'll be, again, respond to the electrical potential that travels down the nerve cell. In many cases, they'll allow a different ion in besides the sodium and potassium. In this cell here, we have some proteins in here that are going to allow calcium to travel in, and the calcium ions are going to travel in through these protein channels. Again, there's going to be a high concentration of calcium ions out and a low concentration in, so they're going to move with that concentration gradient very, very quickly. When these calcium ions go in, they're going to stimulate these vesicles with the neurotransmitter in them. Those vesicles are going to move to the surface, and the neurotransmitter is going to be released across this synapse, or this gap just here. When they reach the other side, these neurotransmitter molecules will bind with specific proteins, receptor proteins, that match their shape. And what they'll do in turn is they'll activate other proteins in the membrane, some of which are sodium channels, and they allow the sodium to move into the cell. This will cause the next electrical impulse and the action potential to move down the next nerve cell in that sort of chain reaction sort of effect that we saw travelling down the axon. So that's how it all starts. The interesting thing that we have is that there's a whole lot of poisons and toxins which can disrupt nervous systems. And the way a lot of these works is they disrupt what's happening in the synapse. And they'll disrupt how these neurotransmitter molecules are produced, and may stop them being produced. But also quite commonly, they block the receptors proteins on the other side, and by doing that the message can't be transmitted, and if you can't pass between nerve cells or nerve cells to the effectors, you lose the functioning of your nervous system. So these poisons and toxins can have a huge impact. Hopefully learning a little bit about the synapses here has filled in the final step of looking at how nerves are able to actually transmit messages along the neuron, but also between the nerve cells and effector cells as well.